Harry Houdini, the great magician, once said that magic is science. It's just a fancier way of showing people that the impossible is attainable. We all have magic tricks. It's miracles happening before our very own eyes. For the last few months, I was told, Rabbi, you will experience magic. And I didn't believe it. And they told me, Rabbi, you'll experience magic. I can't tell you what it will look like, but when you feel the magic, you will understand. That wasn't told to me by magicians at the Magic Castle, which is a wonderful place to go. But that was told to me by Sheer, one of the lead directors of Project 24, who brought this beautiful delegation to us this morning. Project 24 was created after October 7th to connect communities in southern Israel and northern Israel to people just like us, thousands of miles away in the diaspora Jewish communities. Project 24 is about a mutual healing journey, about the magic of turning refugees into heroes by asking them this one simple question: what is your superpower? And when they asked people what their superpower was, they put together a recipe of 3 principles that would make those superpowers come true. The first was to empower people within their own power. The second was to create a win-win project. And the third was to level the playing field to make sure every single person involved in the project was giving something. As you just heard from Coach Omer Belansky, these 15 teenagers used to be the basketball team of Hapoel Eshkol. That was their superpower, a ball in their hands, a basketball hoop, a net. But 14 months ago, they lost not only their superpower, but a lot in their lives. As you heard, one of their coaches murdered, several held hostage and released, and all of them at one point this year displaced from their homes from Eilat through the Dead Sea. But this week has been different. A superpower has been restored. A win-win project was created. And every single person has given something to make sure that this has happened. I watched last Monday very early in the morning at LAX as a team of Sinai Temple families not only opened their doors, but drove to Bradley International Terminal. And we waited for strangers to walk off the plane into their own homes. And instantly, and I mean instantly, these young people became their families. I have watched WhatsApp chats go back and forth, 10-hour time difference, with so many heart emojis I cannot count, and Hebrew and English messages saying, you have to come and visit us. Thank you. I didn't know that there were hearts on the other side of the world that would welcome my children in and give them the warmth that they are experiencing. And I have once again witnessed the power of our own community, of Sinai Temple members meeting each other for the first time because they are involved with the common good of bringing the superpower alive with our new friends from Israel. We all have watched magic happen. But when I thought about magic, I couldn't help but find a parallel in the Torah to what the ingredients were and are to create this magic within our own home. And that is what we find this morning as we read about Jacob's ladder. The Zohar explains that Jacob's ladder had 4 different rungs to it, 4 different steps, and each of those steps is considered a different world. There's the world of action, asiyah. There's the world of soul formation of Yetzirah. There's the world of creation of Beriah. And finally, at the top, is the world of Atzilut, meaning intimate oneness with ourselves and with God. That is what Jacob saw in his dream, and that is what we have begun to see in our reality. Asiyah, action. The Zohar explains that we are not robots. They didn't use the word robots, but they understand that every single action that we do leads to another consequence. And so you have to put yourself into the action in order to get to the next level, which is Yetzirah, the formation. And the Zohar explains that formation of the soul is looking and forming the internal structure of our emotions so that we continue to heal from the internal scars that we will forever internally carry. And when we do that, only then can we get to Bariah, which is creation, but it's really recreating ourselves every single moment, every single day, to make sure that we are recreated anew. And finally, only then can we get to Atzilut, the intimate oneness we feel with God. That is what Shir was telling me. That is when the magic happens. And just like a magician does not have its trade overnight, Atzilut, that oneness is also not found overnight. Hosting these young men who love to eat and love to play and don't like to sleep, it takes work. It takes work from our community. It takes a village, and I want to give an important thank you to Cassie Weinstock, who literally took the leadership. When she was in Israel last April with Camp Ramah, she visited Project 24. She came back and she said, "We have to do this." And I said, "I think you're crazy, but we're going to do it." And they're sitting here today. I cannot describe or even begin to describe the kindness that has been extended from many of you here, our host homes, who said, "I will do whatever I can to make sure that that superpower is restored." These are basketball players. They have been welcomed in by basketball organizations that we all love, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, Universal Studios. Some have gone to Hollywood, kosher restaurants opening their doors to make sure that their bodies are fed. That is the world of asiyah, of action, and we've seen it over and over again. But the world of Yetzirah, forming their souls, has also happened in front of our eyes. Just ask one of these athletes what their stories are from October 7th, and you will immediately recognize that those internal scars will be there forever. On Monday morning, when I brought them into the sanctuary and we pointed to this sign, and I asked them, "Who do you know?" And they told me, "These are my teachers. These are my families. These are my friends. These are my neighbors. And these are my teammates." And even in the midst of this heartache, what you have given them, they have given us. They have brought us into the world of Bariah, of creating ourselves again and recreating each experience with them, whether it's an entertainment experience, a basketball scrimmage, a conversation in the car. Each moment has recreated ourselves to create the magic that we thought would be unattainable. For the young man who told me, yes, he's going to go home in 2 years. For the other young man who told me that he watched as Hamas overtook a tank just 100 meters outside his window, as he stood in the safe room for 36 hours, him and his father alone, waiting for safety. And these young men have transformed every single person that has met them. On Tuesday morning, we brought them two-time U.S. Olympian and WNBA All-Star Angel McCautry. As we walked into the Weinberg gym, I explained who she was about to meet, and she put on a game face and she gave him a motivational talk, and she told him this. She said, I quote, "Your circumstances will never define you and will never determine your destiny." I thought Angel could have been talking about the angel in Jacob's dream. Jacob's circumstance would never define him. He would struggle, but he would go straight to the people of Israel. And then on Wednesday evening, when we sat in the new Intuit Dome of Clippers, and the community hero of the night was Coach Omer Belansky, and he walked onto the court with a big smile, but he came off the court with a tear in his eye, and he looked at me and he said, "Rabbi, I don't understand. One day I was going to be murdered by Hamas, but tonight I'm being applauded by James Harden and the Los Angeles Clippers." Omer, you're right. Each and every one of those moments is a moment of Bariah. You, all of you, and all of us, we decide what we're going to do with those moments. Moments that we cannot explain, but moments that finally lead to Atzilut, these moments of intimacy with God and with each other. There are no shortcuts in climbing a ladder. If you know and you skip a step, you're going to fall down. And so this oneness, it comes last, not first. Rather, we must act, we must look inside at those scars, we must recreate ourselves, and only then will we have the good fortune to have that feeling of Atzilut. Rabbi Yosef Jacobson teaches, when looking at these 4 steps, he says, I quote, "Show me a person who has mastered the first world, I'll show you a self-controlled and fulfilled person. Show me a person who has mastered the second world, and I will show you a courageous and profound soul. Show me the person who has dared to enter the third universe, and I will show you a happy person. But show me the person who has climbed the 4th rung of this ladder, and I will show you a person that does not need to be happy because they have become one with happiness." There has been magic in the air this week, but Judaism is not a magic trick. Our tradition is about souls touching souls, and that is the magic that we are experiencing. These young men define the characteristic of Atzilut. They have had every single reason to stop believing, every single reason to not be happy, but that is not what they did, and that is not what they are doing. Instead, together they have climbed Jacob's ladder quickly, purposefully, and meaningfully. On Monday morning, after hopefully seeing the Lakers win tomorrow night, and hopefully meeting an Israeli hero, Deni Avdiha, the only Israeli in the NBA, they're going to get back on a plane of El Al and fly 6,000 miles back to some destroyed communities and others that are trying to rebuild day after day. They will be thousands of miles away from us, but their souls will literally be next to us. For just like our forefather Jacob, each of us have access to that ladder, one rung at a time. For when we climb, that magic will happen. So all of us here and all of you there, let us climb that ladder together. Shabbat Shalom.